Nobody likes onions. The show everyone loves to hate.
Everybody, welcome to a special Tuesday night show. You're in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even know how to explain this, what's about to happen. We rarely do, here at Nobody Likes Onions, we rarely do intimate profiles. But tonight, we're moving on to a new fool. We have, on occasion from time to time on the show, we have fools. And we meet them and we kind of poke them and see what they're made of. And apparently we've got one here that's a real live wire. So we're going to be talking about him tonight. I've never met him, but it caught my eye. And of course, as usual, we'll take your phone calls tonight if you want to call in. I know we have a couple comics calling in, hopefully in a little bit. But first, we'll talk to our in-studio guest, comedian J-L Cauvin. I see now I'm weird about saying it. Oh, shit. Now your mic's off. All right, there you go.
Hello. Oh, there I am. Go. You said it right, though. So
Cauvin.
Yeah.
Okay, is it Cauvin or Cauvin? Cauvin or...
Here's how...
It's weird. Because there's an I. It's Cauvin.
Yes.
And to say van just makes my head go.
In French, vin, vin is wine. It's vin. So vin.
Your wine?
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Well, I'm co-wine.
Okay, so it's J-L Cauvin.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All
right. And J-L's here tonight. He's a New York comic. And the hell was that? A plane? A chopper? God, this city. It's like being back in LA with the choppers. I wanted to talk about this guy.
The subject, he's rented one actually, with his bond.
Yeah, he is. He's just on his way home from another successful gig.
Yeah.
You're here because I found something caught my eye on Facebook. And I've heard this name batted around by our buddies Rob and Joe, who do the Rob and Joe Show podcast. And people may remember them from our Cliff Cash fight back when I was in the Comedy Central Up Next competition. And we were messing with this guy. But Rob and Joe have this guy they make fun of on their show named Dan Nainan.
Right.
I've never heard of this guy. I've never heard the name. But I do see it pop up every now and then, and people go like, something about Dan Nainan. And I thought for all this time that maybe he was like an intern on their show that they just messed with. But this is like a real guy.
Yeah.
And he's very well known, apparently, throughout the internet community, and especially with comedians on the East Coast, I would imagine.
Yes.
Who's insane. I don't know how else to put it.
Yes.
Unstable.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess tell me how you know him and how you met him and how that happened and what it was like.
I've only met the man once, and it was, as far as I can remember, it was pleasant. I was just starting out in D.C., and I just recall meeting him. If it was at more than 2 shows, that's too many. Like I met him probably once or twice in person.
Right up to your mouth.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Once or twice I met him in D.C., and I don't think he had yet emerged. Or maybe he had, or people hadn't caught on.
As the butterfly he was to be.
Yeah, his Catch Me If You Can scheme of comedy had not maybe been exposed or learned.
Okay, so your angle on this is kind of the fraud behind what he's doing, because he's kind of fraudulent in a way.
It kind of is not really probably necessary.
He's a complete fraud.
Yeah, I mean mostly.
Before we get into it, maybe we should just show people his corporate testimonial reel.
Yeah.
To introduce people to him. Because believe it or not, he has Barack Obama on here saying he's amazingly funny and
they're close personal friends.
I mean, the video you can't argue with.
He went to
real.
He went to school with Barack Obama's father.
Really?
I mean, he'll tell you he's 29.
Oh yeah, this is the first thing about him. He pretends to be in his late 20s,
early 30s. I mean,
and now early 30s. But there's differing sources,
right?
But he got caught because he got arrested recently, and his age was on the police report.
Right.
And he's 53.
They read it off his AARP card.
He's 53.
Yes.
Pretending to be a youthful millennial.
Yeah. No, he's hip with the kids. He's on fleek.
This is a video testimonial. Get ready.
World's only Indian Japanese comedian.
Dan is hysterical. I don't know. I mean, I'm a better comedian than
Michael
he is. Michael
Bloomberg.
I'm here with Steve Wozniak, and I think
Steve
you work in the
Wozniak.
Apple Store, I think, right?
Yes, I do. First rule of improv, always say yes. I'm actually a part-time comedian there. They hire me to tell jokes.
So for the people who are wondering, because these are some pretty high-profile people, it's very easy if you're in a room with these people to pull them aside. It's ballsy and rude, but it's very easy to pull someone aside. You know, and go like, hey, will you make a quick video? And go like, hey, I'm hilarious. Sure. If I was a person who was on an event that they were at.
Right.
Here's a guy from Big Bang Theory.
He's funny-ish.
So he's got all these testimonials. He's got Sanjay Gupta introducing him. He has videos of him introducing other famous people as if that's impressive somehow.
Yeah.
So this is Russell Peters. Hold on.
My name is Dan Nainan. Thank you very
Wait.
much.
Cut that back. Look for the wipe.
Give it up for my good friend. He just performed for Hillary Clinton.
Well, then it cuts to another clip. But I saw the show, and I think it's not cut.
I watched, the only time I saw that introduction, there was a clock wipe.
Okay, then I've got to go find that show.
Yeah. Thank you all very, very much.
So it just showed a clip of him at a podium in a room. By the way, I put videos up on YouTube too, and you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't shoot footage that looked this bad if I tried.
Right.
I mean, I could lean my iPhone against a wall and have a better looking video. This is all grainy, crazily shaky.
Yes.
What is happening? Because it's all in the fucking minute. Like, it's photobombing a dude and going, hey, will you do this real quick now? I mean, the video of Obama is just all wobbly and in his face, like, say this real fast.
Yeah, what they don't show is the gun to the Secret Service agent's head that Dan Nainan has.
Yeah, but I mean, so it's very, when you tell people Barack Obama said this about me.
Oh, people just go, whoa.
It's a powerful quote.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the guy, like,
So some of it's not lies, though, because he has it on tape. I mean, right? I've never met the guy. He sounds great to me. I want to work with him.
Yeah, he's a pro.
This is the angle I'm taking on the show.
He's a pro's pro.
I want to be his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's looked up to by comics everywhere.
Yeah, he. I think the real sad part of this is, I think he, having been banned from certain clubs for manipulating and lying to get booked onto shows, claiming, among other things, to be Robert Schimmel's opener, until one day Robert Schimmel goes to the DC Improv and says, "Hey, who's my opener?" And they go, Dan Nainan. And he goes, "What the fuck? That guy sucks. He's been opening for me like the last 5 weeks." And they're like, "That's interesting." And all of a sudden he's not working the Improvs or Funny Bones anymore. But he'll claim, I guess, that, he has
the balls to call a club and go, "I'm this guy's opener."
Yeah.
And most of the time, let's be honest, the club, if someone calls and says that,
his game,
and they're not going to check it. They're not going to check it because no one else is going to call and say that. So
right, one of the keys to his approach, I think, is, and we discussed this off air, is that he is not significant enough to warrant serious vetting. It's comedy. It's low key, non televised corporate comedy for businesses. You know what I mean? So it's
right.
Why would I check to make sure this guy we're paying $5,000? He's a comedian. We've negotiated terms. Why would I doubt? I have video proof that, maybe was edited, maybe, but what? Who would go to these lengths to create a low level?
It's an insane
career?
level of social network engineering,
manipulation,
and it's really knowing how to work The dude has millions and millions of YouTube views. You can't deny him that. He has it. But
he's got millions of
but it's also
Twitter
very,
followers and no retweets.
It's very easy to be like, I'm the this whole thing where you're the only Sudanese Jewish comedian, or whatever it is, whatever your cool combo is.
Well, he does get his
is
sushi.
That your thing?
He's Japanese and Indian, and he does get his sushi at 7-Eleven. That's
I love. There's one video. So for people who don't know, he does. I guess he's been doing comedy about 15 years,
at least.
And he's had the. I mean, does he just have the same act he's always had?
Occasionally, he'll mix in like a fresh impression, like Bill Clinton.
Right, or if he's at a certain type of event, he'll do like a really. I wrote a joke just for this, like that kind of thing. He'll wedge in. I've seen him do.
Yeah,
but at least for the past 6 or 7 years of videos, his act is verbatim, and he's got a lot of like real one-liner bullshit type.
Mm-hmm.
I'm half Japanese and half Indian.
What I like
and
about
I get my sushi at 7-Eleven. Like
what's weird about his set is that it feels like, and this isn't really about critiquing comedians' comedy.
Yeah, I don't want to make it too much about like he sucks. To us, we think he sucks. But again, he's
if a corporate place wants to hire,
he's probably actually making more than all of us doing comedy. Okay, but again, there are fools on television that that doesn't make me respect you.
If I was a singer, it doesn't mean I aspire to be David Hasselhoff.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's kind of, he said, why not? I'm
or
singing
Bajork.
on the Berlin, I'm dancing on the Berlin Wall, laughing at all you real singers.
Yeah.
You know, but his comedy, it's what it reminds me of is stuff that I wrote about myself 4 months in. And then 8 months in, I said, "Oof, that kind of sucks." Moving on, moving up, working
right. I mean,
material.
he does George Bush impressions, which are getting to be
the first
old.
one. No,
yeah, Herbert Walker, or was the first one Herbert Walker? Yeah. Herbert.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
It's a name that needs to come back.
One termer, and he has Clinton jokes, which are fresh again. You got to give it to him. They're back.
Well, you know, he's like, bell-bottom pants. They came back for a while.
He has a joke where he insinuates something sexual and then apologizes for it. Like, that's my dirtiest joke. I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
It's weird. Oh, we're getting a phone call here.
Oh, no.
Let's let the madness begin. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, this is Cheryl Robinson.
Hey.
Oh, hey, it's Joe. Comedian Joe Robinson from the
Hey,
Rob
Joe.
and Joe Show.
Listen, I know I'm not supposed to call until later.
Yeah,
but
that's
with
fine.
JL, I love him. He's making him sound fucking reasonable. I
Okay,
can't take it anymore.
Yes, okay.
He's making him sound like a normal
We
person.
do need Joe.
He's just deciding to market himself in a certain way.
Joe is a fucking madman who's going to spice this up.
He can't come in there in a tie and act like it's reasonable. Sorry.
No, this is great. We needed a shot of caffeine.
No, I mean, seriously.
In the
this
words
guy-
of Al Pacino, I'm just getting warmed up.
So, but Joe, you have a lot
It
more
doesn't
stories.
matter. Look, this guy, yes, he misrepresents. I don't give a shit if he works a corporate gig. I don't care. I don't care that he does that. But obviously, I'm allowed to shit on it. That's all. I'm allowed to say.
Sounds a
"Wait
lot like this.
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care.
The more you scream it.
Yes, but here's the thing. This guy, it's not just that. So what he does is he defrauds all these people,
Yeah.
which is fine. But you then can't rub my nose in the fact that, listen, if I steal your car and you're like, look what I fucking drive, well, that doesn't work that way. It's not yours. You took it. You follow what I'm saying? Yes, I realize that you can lie and you can grift people and you can three-card Monty and shell game. Yes, congratulations. It's not like he's not without aptitude. Yes, he's good at lying and pretending he's something that he's not. It's really a horrible quality.
Well,
But
no,
I
but
can't just have
also,
you rub-
look, at the end of the day, he's doing these gigs, and everybody in the fucking room thinks that he was great and had a great time. That's what's insane.
Well, if I can share a story that a comedian told me recently?
Yeah, please.
They had a gig. They were doing a private gig that the person said was good money, which I'm guessing probably meant $2,000. And they canceled her gig 2 weeks before because they had a meeting and decided that last year it really hadn't gone well. So they just didn't want comedy. It wasn't that they didn't want the comedian they had.
Right.
This
They just
person had
scrapped the
infected
comedy.
the notion of stand-up comedy in these
Sure.
people's minds. And I asked this woman, I said, can I have one guess on who it was? And she said, yep, it was him. It was Dan Nainan. And I said, well, why did they book him? Like they did. And she said, they bought his hype. Now, this is a guy who will
He's
brag.
high pressure, and he's
So people, I don't know that people necessarily think he's a great comedian. Like
It's just funny that he can corner all these people and make them say it into a fucking camera.
Well, that's the other thing.
Waz is going, he's the best I've ever seen.
He's 78 years old, so I think he figures by the time everybody knows, he will be, getting served last rites, and he'll be like, I did it. I fooled everybody.
Right.
If that's what you take pride in, I mean, there's obviously so much shame in what he does because, do you understand, like, after I hang up, you guys will think I'm funny, you like me, you won't, or whatever. I won't give a fuck.
Right.
If it ends up that you don't like me, I might send an email or a text being like, dude, I thought we were cool, but I won't torment you for 3 fucking years and let you know that I eat steaks and I fly first class.
Hold on. So we haven't even gotten to the part that happens after you berate him. We're just still talking about what kind of guy he is. So what I want to know from you is how you, because apparently you guys worked a show with him or something and then went on your show and started talking shit, which I love.
Yeah, there's a show here in Bethesda, and Dan was,
Quit
by the way,
bragging.
Dan made, it's on the cover of Parade magazine. Dan made, JL's $375,000 in a year doing stand-up. You know what people make. Dan was on the cover.
Right.
And underneath of it was a salary that he had just given them. They don't do a fucking
Of course,
check.
right.
They
The
don't
same
call
with his
the IRS
age. The
or
same with
Social Security. They don't do this,
Yeah.
right? So you just throw out a number, and then you own that number. So, but this day, he was working a $25 MC gig. That's what he was doing.
Right.
So I guess he was just trying to work on some new material. Meanwhile, he did all the exact same fucking jokes that you see on his $1.4 million. Right. So anyway, but I've never heard of this guy. I don't know who he is, and I'm headlining, okay? So he gets up there, and look, I'm a dick. I know that, but I can't see shit, and then just be like, well, that's acceptable. That's perfectly okay. But so afterwards, I walk up to him and I go, listen, you realize that joke that you're doing, that's a Bill Clinton impersonation. That's like 13 administrations ago. I mean, you have to update that. I mean, you're embarrassing yourself. And I go, also, you made a Dick Cheney joke about him shooting somebody, right? It's this, he does it like 6 times in his act where he replaces the L with the R because he's allowed to.
He does the race. He does the Asian LR flied right.
Although he does, he does the reverse, which do you realize that doesn't even apply? Like, L's become R's, but R's don't become L's, which he does. It's like there's Clint Eastwood, but there's not there's not a Robert Ledford.
Licky Martin. I got what you're saying.
Yes.
And that's the thing. The other
or
thing
election.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, that joke is also set up in this manner. He's riding with his parents somewhere, which is already hilarious, right? He's in the back seat. His parents are driving. He's 60 years old. It's dumb anyway. But he's driving.
Yeah, hold on.
His father,
Joe,
out of nowhere.
Let's actually watch.
We see a cow
Let's watch a
grazing.
clip. Because we can watch a little bit of his act. By the way, he says he does TED Talks, and I looked up his TED Talk. I swear to shit, it's just his fucking act. It doesn't deviate one bit. He just goes into his shit. I'm like, that's not a TED Talk. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's just a guy named Ted that he is holding
Who's
hostage.
talking? Yeah. And then we're going to get into...
Do you want to play it or do you want to...
Yeah, hold on. Let me bring this up. Performing for 4,500 non-Indians. Great must watch.
Rob really is...
Yeah, now is that the 1.4? Because, like, right below it is like 1,000 views.
Let me see. Yeah, this is 170,000, but it doesn't matter. It's the same set. It's all the same.
So you're probably wondering.
Nope.
What race is that guy anyway?
And by the way, you can go find 50 videos of him doing this all over the place, opening the same exact way. Pause longer.
God, white people are so stupid. They are.
Yeah.
It's almost like when every black comic comes out and says, they act like you've never seen a black person before. They make up 18% of the population.
That's my term, the soul. That's the soul bounce that I've discussed.
Right, you're like, this is the affirmative action portion of the show. Everybody cracks up. Well, no, fucker, there's 19 black people in the audience, and all the comics are black.
They start with a buffer. They start with a surplus that the rest of us don't have from the audience.
It's a 5% bump.
It's more than 5.
But I'm saying in terms of, I've seen it on the road where it's the road is a great place if you're a black comic. Like if you're at all good, they're going to give you a lot of love.
Right. Again, no one's getting fired. Here's the reason he gets booked in corporate shit. No one's getting fired for booking Dan Nainan. He's got a safe, dated, soulless, non-offensive act. And he's going to walk out of there and everyone's going to go, as if they just had some frozen chicken breast reheated in the microwave. They're going to go like, meh, it's fine. Right. That's what's gonna. I mean,
yeah, and
it's not.
They have like,
it's not the
I
worst thing in the
Barack
world,
Obama,
but it's not nearly
it's the same people.
Good.
They're not comedy bookers. They're just guys that are sitting behind a desk. It's almost like when George Clooney tells me what he thinks about politics. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
It's also
you got to remember that the Barack Obamas of the world. That's the same mentality that is booking this guy.
Carol's.
These aren't people that know anything about what's funny.
Carol's boss told her on Tuesday to have a comedian booked by Friday, and so if someone's calling and actively selling themselves to you, it behooves them to just go, yeah, sure, whatever.
Right.
I looked you up. You have videos with a lot of views. Cool. You're booked. Now I can get back to fucking solitaire or AIM or whatever people do on computers now.
But I liked how Joe compared him to George Clooney, though.
Yeah.
And I'm being too complimentary.
Right. Let's hear a couple more of his bit. And we'll get to the one you're talking about.
I'm sorry,
that's
just ridiculous. Like I've had people suggest that there was applause added or something because he's getting I just murder his opening setup line murdered. When does that happen? He even would have to admit that's not yet the joke.
Well, it's a hyped up audience that's been told to laugh at everything. There's a fucking sign blinking or something. You know what I mean? Like
maybe.
But shit is sweetened for television.
Right. That's not TV. Is that?
Yeah, everything looks
on television. He's not going to be on television.
It's a multicam professional camera shoot. So I don't know. If it's private, it's very well done.
Okay.
So it looks like some shitty
it's
TV.
Not like, we know he has money. That's not really.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like, but who brags? Like, it's so weird to go like, I have a Tesla while you're working gigs for $50. It's okay. Like, yeah, I wasn't even aware I was in a race with you.
Right.
Like,
as I've said, and Joe wasn't on the air. I'll repeat it for him. It's the day. It's who would you rather be in music? A struggling. Who do you like in music, Joe? I know you like Daniel Day-Lewis in acting.
I like the Smiths. That's my favorite band.
So who would you rather be? The lead singer of the Smiths or David Hasselhoff singing on top of the Berlin Wall? Even if Hasselhoff's making more money, it's like one of you is an artist and a singer, and one of you is a sideshow.
Are you trying to say the Hoff is not a legit musician? Because I don't even...
No, he's got chops.
He's somewhere between
4 million Germans say differently.
He's somewhere between like Sam Smith and Weird Al.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're gonna add another call. Let's see who this is. Hello.
Hey, I'm loving all the Dan Nainan talk,
yeah.
But I was wondering if we're gonna talk to J-L about the Ace Man.
Oh.
You have something with Corolla?
Oh, thanks. Well, yeah, I'll be on the show in 2 weeks.
You're going to be on Corolla.
He's been on the show.
Three times. Fool.
Okay.
So,
are you the guy who impersonates him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be. Oh, thanks for calling in. I'll be on in 2 weeks.
Love that guy.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Yeah.
So you like him?
Thank you, caller, or should I say, hero?
We kind of make fun of him a lot over here.
Oh, I enjoy him. I don't enjoy his politics.
I love his way of thinking and his no bullshit. Like, let's stop, bubble wrapping the world attitude. Mm-hmm. I love it. The number of fucking ads. The number, Snack box, baby.
Draft
Kings.
Oh, yeah.
My listeners are winning some serious money. It's like when you say that every other fucking day.
Yeah.
It's like, are your listeners winning some serious money? Is that how they're still affording to keep buying it? Like, what are you doing? Like everything's so like, the minute he goes, whatever, baby. You know it's bullshit for a minute after that. It's like, I think he's so out of touch with like how to make money, how to monetize his show.
He does make.
Can't wait till
he kills
Dan
it, but it's an ad. He was interviewing Artie Lang. It was a fucking pretty like in-depth interview about the incident. Mm-hmm. And he goes, at least you didn't stab your brain, Lumosity. And I'm just going like, did you just fucking interrupt this interview to do a Lumosity ad in the heart of the fucking suicide attempt discussion? Are you fucking kidding me?
All right, fair.
Very weird. Very weird. And here's how I know he knows it's wrong. Because when he goes and interviews Albert Brooks, he wouldn't dare. Right? That's a fucking hour and a half unfucking interrupted. Because he would never turn to Albert Brooks and go like, bark box, baby. Am I wrong?
No,
Thank
right,
you.
but I
Yeah,
gotta
sold.
listen to JL be diplomatic.
Yeah, I like it. Well, you're going on there. I totally get it.
No, and I'm not even going to deny what you're saying. I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like I said to you before.
If I was on his show, I'd say the same thing to him. Okay. Like it's not. I like him. I like him. I'm just telling you, it's insane the choice, the minute you choose to interrupt with an ad.
Speaking of which, I wanted to.
Oh God!
Do you have an ad?
I do like how awkward it did just getting here, though.
Well,
You're right, Joe.
I don't know what to say. I'm like, because I don't necessarily agree.
But you did it.
But then I look like a shill for like the guy that helps me out.
Yeah, how many bark boxes do you walk away with?
They got a free vending machine there, man. I get whatever I want.
How many cases of mangria do you walk out with? You fucking purchased shill. No, but you did. I remember this happening last year or something, right?
Yeah.
You made a video where you kind of like made it was a parody of him, but it wasn't like super nice or anything. It was very like,
but it was him. On. Yeah. So he liked it, which I appreciate.
Do some of him because you even had like things worked out like that he would say like. The phrasing he would use.
What's a good thing to, it's, yeah, bitch. So great. Yeah. You want to tell Dr. Drew how to handle his fucking business? Why? Because he did 2 years of community college? You fucking hack. That kind of.
Yeah. Just yelling, berating.
And I'll tell you what. Okay. I fucking pay my taxes. I fucking live
a lot more than you do.
Okay. I'm a fucking earner. Okay. Not like you get off your fucking ass and earn something, bitch. That kind of general tone.
Yeah, ranty. I liked it. And then he had you on because you were in
been
town
on a few times
from the video, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been. I don't know. I guess it's a weird thing, but it's my only sort of major hookup in any way right now to anything with a platform. So I gotta speaking of which, I want to talk about Lumosity for a second, if I can.
Love those guys. Do you like your brain? You need to use your brain more.
What's the most important muscle? Oh yeah, brain, baby.
I was sitting in my revelry bread the other day.
Reverie?
Yeah, revelry bread.
Yeah, bread.
By the way, you guys ever use that site? The last thing I want to fucking do. I don't want to start doing work when I get home.
Oh yeah, I pause.
Sounds stressful as shit.
I pause the Ace Man immediately and visit every sponsor. I'm a drone.
Since when am I on trial on this goddamn podcast?
Yeah, I don't know, but I like the way this has turned. Dan was unavailable. We got you. Get him, everybody.
It's a fucking ambush.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, but I went because I watched your Louis C.K. thing, and as much as like, and nothing will ever be spot on. You get it. I'm telling you, the mannerisms and the pacing and timing and everything is so fucking good.
Thank you.
You've got this video. Everybody should check it out. It's 340,000 plus views now.
Real views, not Nainan views.
So you're accusing him. Wow, guys, we got him right here on tape saying it. You're accusing him of purchasing views. Can you purchase YouTube views?
If anybody knows how, it's him.
So you just
don't you think it's strange that if you look down the list, it's like 1.4 million, 1,000. I mean, if you have 1.4 million views, And people love that. They want to consume more of what you have to have. You do the same thing.
No,
Like,
I
I'll
have
sit there and
views.
I'll
I have
watch a-
videos
I'll-
with 1,000 views, and I have videos with 110,000 views. It's like,
yeah,
I
but
don't
you don't
know.
have one that has 1.4 million and one that has
No, I
32.
deleted it.
I mean, you would imagine that
It's like
people
when I
would
deleted my
listen, when I
Twitter
go on
account when I had
YouTube
20 million.
and everybody does the same thing. I love watching fights on YouTube, so I'll watch it. I'll watch Kimbo Slice. I'll watch the kid who slammed the bully. I watch them all, and then I keep pouring through. That's why all these themed videos have similar view counts. I mean, I don't understand how he can have 1.4 million fans, and then they're disinterested in anything else that this man produces.
No, because,
the video that has
be honest,
1.4 is like
every-
9 hours long.
But every clip is the same set.
Oh, I see. They get to the beginning, they get to the glaze part, and they're like, I've seen
Yeah, well, I think if it's a 30-minute video, that it's not going to count it when they watch the first minute and go like, "Oh, it's." Oh, by the way, we haven't played the rest of this yet. Let's hear the glaze
You're right. If
joke.
at the very beginning of every video, it says, "What race am I?" Eventually, like, you know what? I'm going to stop watching this guy.
Right, because he does come out
I'm
in
not
every
going to
show.
laugh at that more than 7 or 8 times. What race am I?
Let me hear the glazed
By the
donut
way,
joke
he's
that you
clearly
love.
Asian and Middle Eastern. It's not. It's very clear. J.L. is much more
Well, I don't
ambiguous
like
than Dan
that
Nainan.
He's not Middle Eastern, sir. He's Asian and Asian.
I don't like the racial.
Wow,
tones.
Joe. Wow.
Just shows
Damn
you.
it, he's right.
Just shows
okay,
you.
So it's a great joke.
Just shows you what a closed-minded individual you really are, Joe.
I don't even know.
Let's talk about glazed donuts, shall
Yeah, I
we?
want to hear this joke. Let's hear it. Huge applause. Still on the
Murdering.
first joke.
Setup. The first setup.
Yeah.
The setup.
And my mom is from Japan. I get my sushi from 7-Eleven.
Deadpan the camera. Great tweet. Great tweet.
I'm like Harold and Kumar.
Pretty good.
I mean, my mom is so Japanese that when I was born, I came out cordless.
This guy gets no respect.
So I'm driving with my parents.
Here's the joke.
And we see these cows grazing in a field. So my dad says, now, there is a word that can have a lot of different meanings.
For example.
Graze.
For example.
For example.
Yeah. Get him, Dad. Get him.
For example. My roommate's Indian, by the way.
For example, a cow can graze.
So I'm
And
not
then I
racist.
say, or you can be grazed by a bullet.
True.
And then my mom says, or it's a kind of a donut.
Wait for him to hear it. Wait for him to get it. There it is.
He should have just dropped the mic on that
Everybody
one.
not get that.
So can I jump in? Here's one of my biggest issues with that.
By the way, everyone is
with this
telling me.
whole-
Everyone tells me that I played a clip of this guy years ago, and I don't remember this at all. That's what the
that
chat
he
is
was
saying.
amazing. Well, what were you saying?
All right, go ahead. Jump in. What did you want to say?
Well, no, what I was going to say is the premise, and I just hate it. Just like J.L.'s an impressionist. One of the things I hate is when I see an impression, he goes, what if Clint Eastwood, Jack Nicholson, and, Katharine Hepburn went bowling together?
For example,
that's fucking ridiculous. One's
Make
dead.
my day.
One,
Ah.
there's nothing.
Sorry.
So now the premise is that him and his dad are driving, and he's like, that word can have a lot of different meanings. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not fucking retarded. I clearly know that graze means more than one thing. I know that.
Yeah, it's
But
a kind of
you're
a
my
donut.
father. I'm 50. Why are we talking about this?
You're right.
There's sports are on. There's politics.
I know
we
my
talk
dad
about
and I.
math.
My dad and I discussed word origin a lot on long drives.
And so when I saw him, he had added to that joke because he likes to punch up his material, and that's when he did.
Yeah,
He added-
I can see he's probably the kind of guy who combs through it monthly to see where he can add tags. You know?
He added the Dick Cheney part to the you can be grazed by a bullet.
Yeah,
So
well, he
obviously that's the
probably only does that when he's in D.C. because it's local.
No, I'm guessing that he
He's
does
a
not only do that.
he's
when
a
he's in-
pros
I'm guessing
guys.
that he doesn't.
He's a pros pro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the problem. You're getting mad at him for looking at all angles of the joke. You can't get mad at a guy for looking at the 50 Shades of Grays. Boom!
Well, it's funny you said that because I walked up to him afterwards.
Nailed it.
Yes.
That's better than his joke. Of course it is. I sing him out for 10 years on this show.
So I said, Dan, you're tagging it too with like a 13-year-old reference. I go, Grey's Anatomy is on. 50 Shades of Grey. I go, there's a million other directions that you can.
That's what he's doing. They're looking at Grey's Anatomy.
There's Spalding Gray.
Exactly. So now, after the
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave early.
He's the MC. After the show's over, he's out there handing out business cards to the 73 people that are leaving. He's selling
by the way, he brags these numbers about his DVD sales. He one time he's like, I just sold $220 worth of merch at like an $1,800 seat venue. I've sold out. I've made $1,500 at an improv and sold out on Friday night before when I had the rest of the week to go. Like if you sell
that's because
out,
he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what the good number is. He doesn't know where the lie is. That's the
right.
problem.
I mean, I've made $2,000 in a weekend at an improv for merch. So if you're doing a theater or some fucking 2,400 seat event, your number needs to come up higher.
I performed at Madison Square Garden and sold over $300 worth of T-shirts.
First of all, I don't like just constant back patting on this show. You got to let some of them go.
What do you mean?
Patting yourself on the back.
Oh yeah, well thanks.
Let some of these big ones go. You don't
it was
have to make
the
us all
theater.
feel like
it was
shit.
the theater, not the arena.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So.
Don't.
Well, there's two things. The first thing is that when you're the MC and you bomb, first of all, you leave. Your dignity's gone. Roll. We get out of here. You don't understand? Run, which is what I would do. If I bomb in front of a 73,
By the way, if you're an MC, don't sell merch.
Yes.
What are you doing?
That's the other thing.
What are you doing?
At least ask me, which I wouldn't care. I'd laugh.
No, don't do it. You look stupid.
Podcast.
If you're an MC, don't sell merch. That's just a good rule.
Of course, don't sell merch. But he's not just selling merch. It's already bad. If he has download cards or whatever, that's fine. He has a goddamn book. He's literally like, I'd like to sell you a hardback book in the basement of this fucking shitty hotel where I just made $25. I want you to buy my hardback book. It's ridiculous.
Hold on, what's his book about?
I don't fucking know what his book's about.
It's called The Comedy Bible by Judy Carter.
It's actually just a transcript of his TED Talk, a.k.a. his act. What if it's all the same exact thing? It's like, I bet you're wondering as you start reading this what race I am.
Chapter 1.
Yeah.
How to say example.
Yeah. I'm Japanese.
Well, after he sold that, here's the thing, is that I immediately went on the only vehicle I have to expose people like this, and I exposed them. I can't believe that's going to happen, and I'm just going to act like it didn't. It's fucking hysterical.
You had a gig, you have a podcast, you went on the thing and were like, you won't believe this guy I worked with. As I did with Ayanna Dukey when I was in DC.
Of course. And you know what else you didn't do with Ayanna Dukey? You didn't walk up to her and shit on her because we're still human beings. Does that make me a coward? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Maybe it does. But you're right. I'm not going to walk right up to your face and tell you you're a piece of shit. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I am going to shit on you behind your back. God love you. I'm going to do it. That's going to happen.
By the way, which is what she did. She went up and just shit on me on stage.
Yeah, she's a bigger person, I guess. But again, the point is that he's like, you know what, I met you and you were perfectly nice to me. I go, well, yeah, because I'm a human. Not because I like you.
Right.
I don't just walk up to people and go, I don't fucking like you and you're a big fucking piece of shit. No, who does that?
Wait, I need to clear something up.
Okay.
Joe, do you like me?
I love you, dude.
Yes. All right.
Believe it or not, I've said good set to people disingenuously before.
A million times.
Mm-hmm.
A million times. Sometimes I say it
just confess
ironically.
that
It's almost
here
like watching
tonight.
Roadhouse. It's fucking awesome, but it sucks. You know what I mean? And I love to see people that just, like, if I see Dan Nainan, do you think I'm upset? No, it's wonderful to see somebody that unaware of themselves out there selling goddamn books in the lobby and doing these hack fucking jokes. It's amazing. Would you rather see that or not? Clearly, you'd rather see it.
Someone in the chat is saying that JL does a great impression of Jared from Subway.
Thank you.
Have you thought about doing that one?
No, they've looked at my pie chart on if when I wear glasses and I'm pale, like at the end of the winter, and I'm Hating myself.
Well, that was the other thing.
I start to have I've gotten that, and they know on my pie chart. I said one person once said that to me, and I choked them to death.
So you went on your podcast. You bashed this dude on your podcast. Did not.
Well, I presented stories from people who had.
Well, no, I'm talking about Rob and Joe initially when they did theirs.
Yeah. What happened was, but I didn't know this guy.
Right.
So, of course, I say to Rob, I'm like, hey, do you know this fucking guy, Dan Nainan? And he goes, oh, yeah. And then you start hearing all these other stories. And, again, they're magical. I'm not mad at this guy. They're fucking hysterical. And there's so many of them. Like, J.L. will bring up stuff. I go, oh, I forgot about that. I forgot that he pretended. Can you imagine walking up to a hot chick? You're 800 years old. You say you're 13. You say you're dating this girl. I mean, have some goddamn dignity. Obviously, I'm embarrassed as shit if this girl knows that I told the world that she was my girlfriend. If nobody knows what we're talking about.
Do you remember that?
What paper?
It was like a Time Out New York or something, and he was in the paper.
I saw that today.
As his girlfriend, and then it turns out somebody posted it, and she's a cute chick, and then
they had her full name there.
Right, and what happened? No, it was a fake. It wasn't. It was like a fake name, like because he fed the information, something. So
he gave him the photo. Okay.
He doesn't know who she is.
So then, she's managed, I guess, by people who run the Stand Comedy Club. They see the picture, and then next thing you know, that afternoon, she's writing like with the picture. I am not his girlfriend. I don't know why he said this. This is weird.
Jesus Christ!
Right.
Right.
Also. Now, you know that Robert Schimmel wrote the foreword to his next book posthumously, meaning he says, and it's kind of great. It's almost like saying, "Hey,
because who can argue?"
And I were best friends. Right, because you can't. Right, he gets you. But this is a great story. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell it, but I'm going to tell it anyway. If whoever told it to me can be pissed off.
We'll check with our lawyers.
His name's Rob Maher. Anyway, so when Dan Nainan punched someone in the face, which we're going to get to later, when he did that,
I have an animation.
Rob reached out to a relative of Robert Schimmel and said, "Hey, did you hear about this? Not this guy's a piece of shit, not this guy's great, but he represents himself as having this great relationship with Robert Schimmel."
We talked about this story on my podcast, just to make a plug.
Yeah, this person that reached out.
Which is called what?
Oh, sorry, Righteous Prick on iTunes.
You take a couple of different podcasts and kind of sum it all up.
Well, no, I interviewed 3 people who'd had dealings with him, and this is what Joe's about to tell was the story that Rob told on my podcast. Yeah.
So Robert Schimmel's brother says no. As soon as Robert Schimmel died, Dan sent him an email saying, "Yeah, I fucking always hated this guy. He's a piece of shit," and just shit all over this guy. So he's so bitter that even in death, he has to come and just literally shit on your grave. That's literally what he's doing. But then he still takes advantage. Like, if I'm mad at you, if I don't like you, I'm no way going to use. I'm bitter. I'm not going to be angry with you. I'm not going to use your memory.
All these.
It's crazy.
So all these people he claims, to have worked with and toured with, Russell Peters, Robert Schimmel, all these guys know his scheme and hate him and have spoken openly on other podcasts, from Mark Maron to Joe Rogan.
Yes,
they've all talked about this guy but not used his name. He tried to offer Mark Maron money to get on. They
don't want to use his name because they don't want to promote. They don't want him to gain
that's what he wants
from a mention.
Because if you have video or a clip of somebody saying, "This comedian Dan Nainan," he'll just take that part and put it in his reel.
Or 50,000 people look up his video.
You have plugged him as a good comic. That's what he'll end up doing.
Love Dan Nainan. Great comedian. Great guy.
Yeah.
One of the best I've worked with, if not the best. Clip that up.
Yeah.
Get me out there, Dan.
He's a pro's pro.
Again, I want to play this. I want to play this very safe and say again, I'd love to have Dan on the show. He seems like a really funny working guy. You guys just seem like losers who have gotten a jealousy bug in your face. So I'm good buddies with Dan. I'm on board with Dan now. We gotcha. This is part of Dan's sting.
Well, he's good.
Yeah, he's great. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I mean, there's literally so many Dan Nainan stories. Him and I were battling back and forth. That's all I was just doing was kind of learning about somebody. It's like the beginning of a fucking superhero movie when they're getting their powers, and you just fall in love with the story, right? It's so fucking wonderful to hear all the things that he's willing to do. And again, I'd rather know that he's willing to do it. I'm not mad at him. It's a beautiful thing that's hilarious. But what happens is when you expose him, and you, by the way, Patty, you're sorry. This is going to happen. You have no idea what you're in store for.
You keep saying that I have like the wrath in front of me of this guy.
Well, yeah, because he won't stop. And again, I have his email sent directly to my trash. But think about this. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that there's no response coming from me. And you saw this 20 consecutive emails come in like a 24-day period.
Yeah, let's show
just
some
telling
people.
me what a piece of shit that I am.
Let's show some people some of these emails just to give people an idea of what this guy writes.
And if I may toot my own horn for a second, for some reason, regardless of how infrequently I mention or think about him, I always seem to be the star of many of his emails.
He hates J.L. the most. Yeah, he does. He hates him the most.
And what's weird about it, and there is an American Beauty homoerotic quality to some of it, because he talks about, I've talked openly about having gained a lot of weight over the last couple of years, but I've lost like probably 40 pounds.
Oh yeah, there was one in here where he's
But he talks about my weight like he's obsessed because he's probably looked at pictures of me when I'm younger, and I just.
Oh, so you think he's going to call me fat?
Well, no. Well, he likes to rub it into me because I always joke about it and say I'm pissed because I put on all this weight. Now I'm losing it. So he knows it's a sort. He thinks him talking about it, like he doesn't get that me exposing my own flaws is part of comedy, and like I'm already dealing with it. It's like he thinks he's rubbing something in by mentioning it. It's like, dude, you're a skinny 55-year-old unathletic hack.
Yeah. So here it is. You tweeted the Pacquiao Mayweather fight will be $100 on pay-per-view and HD. Not a problem since I've already made $200 doing comedy in 2015. Hashtag comedy mogul.
Yeah, that's a good joke. Like, and he,
it's
like,
a fucking it's of course it's self-deprecating. And then
No, but
then he posted a picture.
basically
He's like,
yeah.
this is what he posts pictures that he looks like, and this is really what he looks like, and it's like a chubbier picture of you. But they go, you gotta love how he uses pictures of himself that are 10 years and 100 pounds ago. Kind of reminds me like the women who use a 20-year-old headshots. By the way, aren't you the dude who tries to turn back time? Aren't you the king of I'm 20 years younger?
I just don't get why he doesn't understand that I was sick, and not to even engage, but I was 6'7", 240. Then I got up to 315. Now I'm 270. Like, and going down. So like,
yeah, you're not me.
Yeah, but the other thing, JL, is you are also, that's born from security, where you say, hey, I'm an honest person. I'm going to expose my own flaws. I'm comfortable enough with myself to discuss this. Also, it's real life. And I want people who consume my product to trust me.
Right.
And the reason that's foreign to him, the reason that he uses that against you is because he's fraudulent. He doesn't understand what the merits of honesty is, and comedy doesn't understand that. That's why he can't understand when he's throwing back your own criticisms about yourself to you, because that's who he is. He's made up this way.
Well, also, how does he know that, that's not your current look and that your body's just lagging behind?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
You know what I mean?
But there's I just envision him, because he listens to my podcast every week, which is also a weird thing.
That's great. I download.
Right, but it is weird. And I just envision him with a belt around his neck and a lemon in his mouth.
By the way, he puts his cell phone number in all these emails.
Well,
which are now on the screen.
That's another thing, and I don't know if you shared this with your audience, but one time he sent me a screenshot of his call log because he wanted me to know that he called a universal impairment. I don't remember.
Yeah, he wanted you to know that he had a meeting.
Yeah, the third number down was an incoming call from Barack Obama. That was the third. He's got a 4-second
that lasted
clip
like 25 minutes. Yeah, because that's what Barack's doing. Oh, God.
He's right in the middle of the day, his busiest time. So he's not calling Dan. Seriously, 2 o'clock, come on.
Here's some of the emails he sent that are just nuts. He sends a picture of a check for $2,500 for a gig. I don't even know where to start with these emails. Some of the biggest rants. Where are they? He signs shit like, look at my Apple commercial. When, like, by the way, his Apple commercial is like he's in a bubble wrapped suit.
Right.
It's just a stand-in. Like,
good
acting, dude.
But I will say this, like, even good for you were in it, like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing.
Cool.
Like, if he kept his mouth shut, it'd just be like, wow,
cool.
look,
You're in
this
a
guy
commercial, and I
hustles
haven't
like
been
crazy,
good.
and he's
right.
We consider him hacky, but he hustles like shit. Not in my lane. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, that's the thing, too. Does he think we're all like... Does he think like we are all competing for the same type of gigs? Like, you've proven you get yourself kicked out of the gigs I want to work. Clubs. Like, I get it.
But it's not just that. It's like when people that I came up with in comedy make it, right? When the Rory Scovel's of the world or the Seton Smiths, when these guys make it,
Name drop.
I'm overjoyed for them. You understand? I'm overjoyed for these people. I'm not bitter. I only get angry with people who I hate and suck and lie. It's not. There's no hate involved.
So there's Rob Maher. Rob Maher is who you're talking about, though, right?
Scumbag.
That's correct. Yes, I can't have him outshine me.
So this is an example of a thing he just wrote. This is March 28th, 2015. Tonight I'm driving my bright, shiny red Tesla to an amazing $2,500 corporate event in Northern Virginia. My question is, what are you working on? Why are you not working tonight? I mean, you're a fantastic comedian, right? And this is to who? You, Joe?
Probably.
Yeah. One of the best that I've ever had. I mean, you are so great that you can criticize other comedians.
It's me.
No, this was forwarded to me from you, Joe.
No, but I'm saying this is his like list.
Yeah.
Almost, I don't know. Keep reading. You never know.
I would assume by now you'd have a half-hour comedy special on Comedy Central, an appearance on Letterman, and on The Tonight Show, or at least be touring improvs in theaters.
Because I've mentioned how I submitted for the half hour this year. That's why that's in there.
Supporting a national, I have for 4 years in a row. And as I did, don't use that against me, dude. Don't tell people that I submitted 4 years in a row.
Who did?
No, I'm just saying I just said that I have.
Oh, you have.
And now he's going to take it out and go like, you've submitted 4 years in a row. And it's like, yeah.
He'll say, I haven't even submitted, and I'm closer than you.
Yeah. And he probably is. That's the thing, like, even if you are, you're better. Like, if we all just went like, yeah, you're better, would that be the end of it? Mm-mm. Like, what's the end game?
He offered to me, he wants me to like him. He wants it. Maybe that does make me number 2 to JL. But he said to me, he goes, hey, how about we bury the hatchet? We'll go back to the same club. I'll MC, you'll headline, and before the show, there's a Morton's in the hotel. He goes, before the show, we'll go to Morton's.
This is great.
He goes, I'll buy, of course. He's still fucking taking shit off me, right? He goes, I'll buy, of course, and then we'll olive branch it, right? And I'm like, go fuck yourself. No, right?
Well, you're not the type of guy who can rustle up 40 for a steak. Let's be honest.
It enraged him that I wouldn't take a free steak and let him, because now that club won't work him. So basically, this gig that pays again between $25 and $50 is what he wants. So he's willing to buy me a steak in order to be able to get back into this room. And the fact that I'm going to go ahead and buy my own steak, it's not received well.
Well, Joe, so what gives? It's Saturday night. And the one night a week when a real comedian worth his salt should be performing, right? Instead, you're watching March Madness like your fearless leader, J-L.
Oh, yeah, it is me then. It is me. No, I remember that because I worked with David Allen Greer that weekend, but I don't respond to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't respond.
Who spends his waking hours watching TV, Netflix, and movies with his thumb on a remote, cramming cookies and king-sized buttered popcorn.
Oh, that's JL.
Okay, first off, this is the correction I'd like to make.
Yeah.
Yes, I do that. No butter on the popcorn.
Yeah, of course. Netflix is fucking awesome.
Does butter and popcorn come in king size?
Show, but yeah, the Netflix is great. I mean, I'm not embarrassed that I watch television.
Well, Dan,
however, when I get to see Eliza Schlesinger's new special, Freezing Hot.
I used to tweet. Obviously tweet about Breaking Bad a lot because I was a fairly early adopter of the show.
Yeah.
And I remember Nainan wrote to in one of his emails that I did not see, but he referenced it. He says, "Oh, JL's so great at comedy, and all he does is talk about some show, Breaking Bad." And I was like, "Well, don't show that you're so out of touch culturally. Okay, you don't have to watch it, but you're acting like I pulled it out of my ass."
When Howard Stern was ranting, calling anybody who podcasts a loser, and it's like, it's kind of a thing now.
Right.
It's like you just make yourself. Who's ever heard of this Ari Shaffir? Who's ever heard of that?
So let me get it straight. We got Joe Robinson comparing Nainan to George Clooney. You're comparing him to Howard Stern. Am I the only one who doesn't think he's a media mogul?
Comedy mogul. Is a
No, that's
hashtag.
me.
Yeah.
That's me.
No, I think he's good at social engineering. So I heard that like if he sees that you have a gig somewhere, he'll call you, or have someone call you, offer you a different gig in that city.
That was from Josh Homer, one of his enemies.
Yeah, and then
Cancel
he'll
last
call
minute.
the club after you've canceled the gig.
Take your
gig at the club, saying, "Oh, I'm his buddy," or whatever. He said to give you guys a call, or I'll be in the area. Then he'll cancel the fake gig he made up to get you off the other gig.
Right.
Like that's just blatantly stealing your shit.
Right. Yeah, no, he's.
He will also call a club when he finds out who the headliner is and says, "Hey, I'm Dan Nainan. I'm the feature for Brad Garrett. Just want to know where I'm staying." And he'll just take the gig. He'll just insert himself into the gig.
Yeah, and a lot of times people won't know Stroop has changed the feature or whatever, and they're just like, yeah, whoever calls.
Right.
You just have to have the confidence to do it.
It's catch.
That's the other
It's,
thing, right. You
it's
have to
catch
be
me if you
willing.
can.
Act as if.
Except instead of starring, Leonardo DiCaprio, it stars the guy from Star Wars who said it's a trap.
Yeah. I mean, some of these emails are just insane.
Some.
One time, now
He sends a picture of the Tesla app he's using.
He's got a lot of stuff where he takes like a lot of pictures of the food that he eats. He's also a do-gooder.
He's the
right?
original
He's very concerned
Instagrammer.
with the environment, and he wants to be green. There's so many stories. Do you know about the Green Comedy Club? He opened up a comedy club.
Yeah, because in one of these emails, he recently bragged that he's going to have a chain of them soon.
Well, he couldn't do one, so you got to walk first, right? But he wanted to have a green comedy club, and in the comedy club, you would bicycle to the club.
But only clean comedy, right?
It was only clean. You would bicycle to the club, and he also wanted to have monitors up that had your material. It would be like a teleprompter that would be there for the club.
Like a closed caption, or like for the comic to read?
The comic would read. I mean, I believe. I mean, it's a great idea either way, whether it's for the
Janine
audience or
Garofalo
the comic,
would
but
love it.
Well, you'd have to get like a stenographer and go in there and say, "This is what I'm going to say," and just tell them everything.
You can't go up tonight. You forgot your USB drive.
It closed. I want to make sure. I might be wrong about this. I want to make sure I'm as accurate as I can. I think it closed after the first week. I believe the headliner the first week was a comic named Jimmy Maher. He's pretty funny. But then I believe that shut it down because I guess the bicycle parking was limited or whatever. There wasn't enough walk-in traffic or whatever because you couldn't take your car there. You weren't allowed, no chlorofluorocarbons. It's not acceptable. So if you wanted to come, you had to prove you had kayak there or whatever the fuck.
Or you could bring in paperwork proving that you purchased enough carbon credits to drive.
It's also not a very handicap accessible comedy club. What's the matter, Stephen Hawking? You couldn't bike?
Are you?
Let's be honest. Did the handicap deserve comedy?
You're not allowed to come. You're not green enough.
Yeah, I'm not clean enough either. So I have this story of the Josh Rogan reporter. We should play
that was
this.
the one at improv. Oh, yeah, that.
This is an animation reenactment, which I think is hilarious. So everybody look at this.
Can I creep around and look real brief?
What do you get when you cross a stand-up comic with a journalist on Twitter? This. Comedian Dan Nainan was performing at a charity event at the DC Improv. Josh Rogan, senior correspondent at Newsweek Daily Beast, was also there, and he wasn't impressed. He tweeted this back to the world.
This is a reporter from Newsweek, was in the crowd at the DC Improv, and during the show tweeted a couple critiques of Dan Nainan's very dated act. Clinton jokes.
During the gig. Dan Nainan was funny until he dusted off his 2005 Katrina jokes in a gratingly bad GWB impression.
Okay, so that's one of the tweets.
DC Improv. Dan Nainan makes his umpteenth joke about how Asians can't distinguish between letters L and R. Election, erection. We get it. #DC Improv.
So he didn't even tag Dan Nainan in the stuff. He just hashtag DC Improv. And Dan is so fucking insane that he must have, so like the minute I tag this show or put his name in the show, he'll find it, right?
As soon as he gets off stage for some sultan in Dubai.
He will find it. I'm nervous, guys. He lives here.
Well, here's the thing that you're kind of, there's a little bit of a backstory, because of the Schimmel thing, he was persona non grata at the DC Improv. This was a charity gig. It was like the funniest fed or the funniest person.
It was a produced show that he weaseled his way on.
They rented the club.
Right.
There was no input from the DC Improv staff.
They booked him, and they got to bring whatever MC.
He probably emailed whatever charity it was when he saw it on the calendar and said,
Barack Obama says I'm effing funny.
Yeah.
Right. He probably said, that he was already booked to do this. Hey, I heard I was supposed to call it.
I'll do it for a couple hundred.
This was his opportunity to get back into the club. It's the only A room in our area. It's an important club. By the way, no clubs will work him. So he's like, well, this is an opportunity. I'll be here. I'll come here. I'll be great, and I'll ingratiate myself to this club. And this guy was stepping on this opportunity that he saw. Clearly, they're never going to work this piece of shit, but he didn't know that. In his mind, in his deluded mind, this was his attempt to get his foot back in the door at this club. And when this guy was exposing him, he snapped. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, so here's what happened.
Somehow, Nainan immediately found out about this, and boy, was he upset. He went out during the next set, found Rogan, and slugged him in the jaw.
He walked up to Rogan and said, "Are you Josh Rogan, this reporter?" He said, "Yeah," and then he just hit him. And then he walked away for a second and came back and started beating him more.
Do you have, by any chance, what Nainan said, what he was quoted as saying in something afterwards? Even though he was, pled to a misdemeanor, I think he was
He's
insulting.
That just didn't happen.
He was saying he was insulting the other people, and I'm a pro comic, I can take it, but these are people who are not comedians, and he was insulting them, and then he pushed me, and I pushed him back, and it was well, that's not what the court and the cops and the witnesses say.
Insanity.
Yes, he tried to make himself into the hero, is what he did. It's not even hey, I fucked up. I got mad. People do that, right? This guy wasn't going to be. By the way, what a pussy.
But it's amazing.
Does this Josh Rogan guy have to be to let Dan Nainan beat his ass? I feel so bad for this guy. He probably grew up with his head in the toilet and he wedgies. It's got to be miserable for this guy.
He brags about this video where he's performing for 4,000 people introduced by Tim Conway. People probably don't know who Tim Conway is, but if you saw him, he's a sitcom guy. He's on a ton of stuff. Older dude. And when he introduces him, he just goes "Your next comic, you're just another great guy. You're gonna love him anyway. Here he is." And then he mispronounces his name, and then you have the all to put in your email signature, right? Of check out this video where I talked to Barack Obama and performed for Hillary Clinton. His Hillary Clinton performance video is him at a podium with shitty video, cut to Hillary at the same podium. Right.
Well, he has that
she
clip
wasn't.
Of Russell.
Yeah,
of Russell Peters saying my good friend Dan Nainan, and then somehow, by the way, I've said my good friend and brought up a million people that I don't even fucking know.
Right.
What am I saying? It's you
want the audience to like your opener
and you
or
bring him
whatever.
up. He doesn't know Dan Nainan, and of course everything. Of course he tried to basically steal money from Russell Peters by taking a website and removing an L. So people would mistakenly book him.
He buys domains. He bought Russell Peters with one L, and
but he still has Russell Peters on his website as somebody it's featured on there.
Well, those guys, I guess Robert Schimmel too.
It's like Odin Lloyd's family having we love Aaron Hernandez, or the reverse. It's like no. How can you still consider this person?
Because those guys are too busy and doing too well to give a fuck. They could probably sue, but what is that going to do? Right. This guy still has the video. They can't get the videos taken down if they're his videos of actual events that happened. I mean, maybe he doesn't have their permit. I don't know, but they're not going to fuck around with worrying about that. Again, he's not taking gigs they're interested in doing.
I mean, I'm sure when they all meet at the Millionaires Club, they argue with him, but that's not for public consumption.
I mean, to offer Mark Maron money to be a guest on his show.
And then immediately go back to his old tired line of, you're just a drug-addled, shitty loser comic.
I don't think we've mentioned this. Anybody who drinks or does drugs is not a real comic and is just using that as a crutch.
But it's always whenever he gets rejected from something, he goes right back to the same. Well, it's then why did you want to be involved with or work at these places? And then all of a sudden, once you're out, it's very sour grapes. Like it's textbook Aesop 9 and Fable.
This is a video, or what is this audio clip of you that he sent around?
Of who?
Of Joe. Hold on, let's hear this.
Right before he sells a DVD, a CD, and a book on how to be funny, I kid you not, he pulled it out. It was probably 16 pages long. It was flipping around in the wind.
I want to just say for the record that, in fairness, that this guy kills with this material. Kills. There's 2 clips of him on the internet where he gets like 1 minute of pause breaks with this crap.
Yeah.
That's Robbie, his brother.
Yeah.
Not the Rob.
The guy we
the
hate.
Rob and Joe show.
Oh.
That's Robbie, the producer, not Rob
okay.
of the title.
Okay, I didn't know.
But still part
Either
of the
way,
show.
we hate him. Let's get him, guys. What blows my mind, he sent you what, 14 emails in 10, how many days, how many emails?
No, I have 20 emails from him since March 28th. And the only reason I couldn't send you more is because they go straight to my trash folder and then they fall off after a certain amount of time.
But he's spending all this time writing these long, personal, angry emails. And apparently there's dozens of comics who are on like a general hate mailing list, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like where he's just like,
J-L
here's the 7
there.
Apple
Rob.
Watches I'm ordering. Apple, like anybody gives a fuck what Apple Watch he's getting.
It's bizarre.
Well, he's going to open it. It's actually great.
He does. Yeah, he does unboxing videos.
He's going to open his Apple
electronics.
Watch on. Now, by the way, his Facebook fan page has like 57 likes. So he hasn't been able to find a way to manipulate that. But I can't imagine how many of his fans, which there's 57 of, are now going to watch him just get a gift. I don't even want to watch my best friends get gifts. I don't give a shit, right? But people now have such interest in him getting a watch.
Yeah, that he bought himself.
He's basically.
Oh, by the way,
if you
right,
took,
I do want to watch.
Let JL talk, Joe.
Yeah,
You're overrunning
goddamn.
everything.
Jeez, so aggressive.
Piece of shit.
He's got basically, if you took Floyd Mayweather and you took away his boxing talent and his wealth and his discipline, you'd be left with just a showy douche. And I think that's what you're left
what's
with.
weird.
Nainan. If you took away all of Floyd Mayweather's talent and fame, but left the showy, money-obsessed braggadocio, that's Dan Nainan is just that.
Wouldn't you love to see him hit on a girl?
I don't want
like
to get
he must
into
just
that.
be like, hey, which one of my Apple Watches do you like better? We can go see the other 5 I have out in my Tesla, which I take to gigs where I make this. Like, I don't think he knows how to talk to people.
I think he's the idea of Dan Nainan doing anything flirtatious or sexual. It's not in the consciousness
That
of
big
humans.
savage Indian dick of his.
Jesus.
Just gliding in and out of some poor bitch.
Now you know he can dunk a basketball, right? Are you aware of that?
No. Is he tall?
6'2".
No, I think he's probably 5'10", 5'11", but
he's taller than that.
But he has walked up to a dude who badmouthed him and just hit him.
Yeah, I mean it's tailor-made for a Chappelle Show sketch. What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
He's one of those. He's one of these guys you want to just wake up on a Dexter kill table.
Oh, Jesus.
With just all the pictures he's emailed comics all around him and just go like, you know why. As they fight, and he just a little blood from the cheek.
Oh, boy.
And then
Yikes.
How many hits would that one get, Dan?
Well, he did threaten to fight me to the death. It's serious. He actually seriously did. He found 2 places. I can't remember one, but he found 2 places where it would be legal for us to fight to the death.
He'll pay for transportation, of course.
I'm interested in producing this, miking it, videoing it. Let's get it going. Let's have a giant, big throwdown. Can you just imagine? Like, first of all, he might be able to walk up and hit me first, but I'm not going down, and then it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he's.
What do you think? I'm not going to hit you back, you dope?
I do think he's
I don't even
black
know you.
belt, though.
By the way, I don't even know you, Dan. Apologies. I love your gig, your shtick. Love it. Would love to meet your agent. Love to meet your manager. Love to have you on the. I'm actually looking for a new podcasting partner. Please get in touch. We want to go all clean and alcohol free here. We're looking to get rid of drugs and turn our lives over to Christianity.
Nobody likes Runyons.
I don't get that kind of material. So let's keep it clean. Let's keep it green. drive your Volts and your Teslas to the cliff and listen to us. I don't know. I got to get him in here. Dan, you have to come in here and defend us. Because I don't know JL. I don't like him. That's my initial reaction.
That's usually people's
Seems like
reaction.
a real jerk. And I don't like the way he's treating you. And we'd love to get your side of it in our new millionaire interview segment.
Now here's the great thing. I'm going to. It's literally like Trump fucked Mayweather and all the talent left.
Well, you really hung up on Mayweather.
They were just left with the guy showing off his watch and saying, "I'll donate to your favorite charity if you can just book this gig." And it's. I don't understand, but I want to say this. I want to say after this, as I pledged 2 years ago, I want to be like, and now I'm not going to say anything more. So I'm sure the emails will stop. I'm sure I won't be mentioning any of these things.
But here's the other thing. It's like, how does he think that emailing you every day is getting you? Like most sane people, you would eventually, like, I'm going to laugh at him for 2 weeks. Then I'm going to set up a rule. And then it's done. Like, then
but you don't
understand that I never
Patrick,
see them again, right? Like, he doesn't get that.
You don't understand. He will call clubs, tell them, "Hey, you're not having this guy here. He's a piece of shit." He actually got J-L banned from a club.
From LOL in San Antonio, LOL in River Center.
See, I work LOL in River Center, and
no, but what he did, here's what can I tell that
yeah,
story real quick? Because it's clearly, Joe, you agree. Like, I laid it out. It's clearly him.
I heard this story.
Right. And what he did was
something that made no sense.
I wrote a very humorous piece while at the club about how I had just gotten a hotel because I killed 4 roaches in daylight. So when you know it's daylight, you know they're fucking a lot more.
So you don't like
in
the condo.
So, but I did it in a very intentionally. Love the staff. The club's been great.
Sure.
Funny thing happened last
Is
night.
this a
I
good
killed
example?
some roaches. Yeah, for example, a roach can glaze. So then I write that. The next day, somebody called the club and said, "I was going." This is so classic Nainan. He goes, the person on the phone says, "I was going to come to the show tonight, but I read your Feature Acts blog today, and I can't believe you have him with the things he's saying." Now, the staff member of the club doesn't know shit, so their understandable reaction is to be like, "Oh, I got to talk to the manager. There's something like the Feature did something." Now, if they read the blog not primed for something scandalous, they would have probably been like, fuck, man, it sucks, whatever. But they wouldn't. But when you think a customer has an issue, you're like primed to think, oh, fuck, so like,
sure.
Shit. So you're looking for negative things. Now, and then they basically said you can't work. Unfortunately, that meant I couldn't work LOL either because fuck River Center. I don't care, and you don't have to endorse this idea.
Yeah.
It's the condo's disgusting, and they said they were going to get a hotel, and if they ever do, I want a fucking plaque with my name.
They got rid of it this year.
Thank you, and comics who work River Center. I know you don't want to thank me. I know you don't.
I've never stayed in it.
Yeah, it's gross. You don't want to thank me, but you can if you want. If you know what's good for you.
I just stopped doing it.
Right.
I just stopped staying in condos. I don't do it.
But they banned me from those 2 clubs, and it was directly a result of.
And here's the problem: if they would, like you said, if people would stop and think for a minute,
right?
That doesn't make any sense.
But that to me was, other than him punching the reporter, which is obviously a weird thing.
Well, Colin tried to get me out of there because I have a pretty good relationship with him, and I love to see you do it.
But he needs, in other words, he had the blog, so he had at least
he had
a smoking water gun, and he.
Trevor Noah me. I don't give a shit.
Right. But I just thought, to me, it was a weird thing because I was like, wow. I mean, I've never tried to ruin your money making ability. Like it was a line that I did not see getting crossed. Trolling on the internet is whatever, but like it was a line that I didn't think you would cross. Yeah, and
I had people. I had a guy one time take a bunch of sound clips of me and call up my boss when I had a day job still, and play out of context things with the soundboard of the podcast, which is very good audio quality.
Right.
And thinking that would get me fired. Spoofing the phone number that it was coming from my cell, like really elaborate. And it's like, my boss knows I'm a comedian. My boss knows. Like, luckily, he just called me in his office and was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
But yeah, when you start fucking with people's money, I think it gets How petty are you?
When he suggested he was
No,
going to do
Dan
it.
threatened.
Yeah.
Dan went on Maryland Judiciary case search and looked up my criminal record, and then he took 3 driving offenses and posted them on my Wikipedia page.
Okay.
He also took.
Hold on, Joe. You have a Wikipedia page?
That's right.
Oh, shit.
He then, thank you. He then threatened to call the radio station that I work for and expose me for my 1992 PB&J for theft. He goes, "How would they feel about this?" So, I mean, literally, he'll do this. He will call.
I don't know. Dan seems like a nice guy. I don't like us to just come off bad mouthing him and stuff. He seems like let's get him in here again. Dan, please reach out.
Or just get a friend. This will all go away.
I'm interested in being that friend.
Just get a friend, hire a prostitute with some of your money, like somebody to just be a companion. It'll probably cure most of these.
Is there any possibility that all this just stems from some jealousy and hate that you're not getting? You don't have a Tesla.
No,
I want one.
I got an unlimited Metro card though.
Well,
here's the thing J.L. will
well.
agree with. If you polygraph Dan Nainan, if you polygraphed him, I genuinely believe he thinks he's a good person. I genuinely believe that.
Well, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
His own press. He believes what he says. He doesn't. He thinks that it's okay for him to belittle those who don't have what he has. He thinks that's an acceptable thing. So, I mean, there's really no way to this conversation. It's not like he's going to listen to it and say, "Wow, I'm really a piece of shit. I got to change." No, he's going to get bitter about this.
I honestly hope he doesn't come after me and call me poor. I'm serious. Like, I came up poor. And that would be probably one of the most hurtful things I could hear. By the way, Dan, my parents are dead, my mother and my father. And if you called me, like, not doing well, like, if you insinuated in some way my career's not all that it could be, or that I'm not doing well, or even poor, you don't want to be responsible for a suicide, is all I'm going to say. So, this is balls in your probably very private and exclusive court.
Glass backboards.
Yeah.
In his home.
But I was picturing tennis.
Oh, sorry.
When somebody says balls in your court, do you picture basketball? That's a good question for people.
I guess tennis does make more sense. But they do refer
it
to
is
back
one
court, front court.
But at tennis, you're on one court. It's like when I serve it to you, the ball's still in the same damn court.
Yeah.
Right? I think we just busted wide
We
open.
have one ball, and you can only play in the court that has the ball. I think.
Yeah, what do I just bring the ball over to your place, throw it in your backyard, and be like, call you up and go, "Hey, ball's in your court." We're on the.
Dan's like, "I like this.
No matter.
I like the direction you're
going.
going."
Don't take my material, Dan. This is some of the gold that I write.
Oh, can I tell you one? Oh, sorry. I was just going to say one funny thing in terms of stealing material. A very small thing, but it happened a couple of years ago when I hadn't yet blocked him on Twitter, and I remember I posted a joke saying, "DJ, like something about MacBooks must have made DJing like pretty easy," or it was like, "Does a DJ just have to press play on his MacBook now? Is that DJing?" Now, this is several years ago.
Yes.
I then looked at his page on Facebook, and like a day later, he had written that like it was his own joke. It wasn't even good, but I was like, wait, you're of all the things to do, the guy you've been ripping
again. I'm gonna side with Dan here.
Okay.
He wasn't a PC and Mac commercial.
True.
He pretty much works for Apple. Yeah. So if you both came to me and were like, "Whose joke is this?" I'd be like, "Well, one of you's been in an Apple commercial, and one of you, as far as I can tell,
wrote it 18 hours earlier, and that's just not conclusive.
King-size buttered popcorn.
No butter. Okay, I want to clear. If I can clear the air on one thing, I don't eat butter on my popcorn, but I do love cookies and I enjoy Netflix.
Seems like somebody who eats a ton of butter would say no butter, because it's almost unbelievable that you would enjoy popcorn with no butter. Just say some butter.
They're
say
making it good
light
now.
butter.
All that saltiness, it's good.
But it's like a butter flavored powder or some kind
at
of.
At Regal Cinema, I think they do that, but at AMC's, there's no buttered powder.
What do you know it by chain?
Yeah,
this is a little extreme.
I like movies.
You should start a website where you just describe the popcorn at every theater. It's like Yelp, but just for popcorn.
Snacks. We could go full snacks.
Every snack's a different app.
The sommelier of popcorn.
Yeah, you don't need it for candy. What are you going to be like? Oh, the Sour Patch Kids here were way better than
pretzel bites, hot dogs. Like there's differences. Nachos.
See Michelle on the far left counter. She knows how to scoop it big.
Yeah, she picks the well done hot dog, not the ones they just fucking threw down.
You want a well done. You want a 2-day roaster back there.
Yeah,
just a little dried out, a little dehydrated.
All the bacteria's gone.
Yeah, nothing can survive under those lights. Guys, we'll wrap up. Joe, if you can hang around, I'm gonna do. You got to get out of here, or
I'll stay.
You're cool.
Yeah,
you're having too much fun bashing this guy. I don't like it. I don't want to get the repercussion here. So how do I avoid his wrath? I got to delete this whole thing?
Well, the good news for you is that you literally have his 2 least favorite people in the world deflecting some of this, but you are running this. But like I think he's going to look at like
my father Bill runs this show.
Yeah.
Who's dead.
You decided to step in the ring with the champ.
No, here's what happened. Joe called me the other day and he was like, "Hey, do you mind if I come on your show and talk about something?" And I was like, "Cool, what is it?" And he's like, "I hate this guy, Dan. I know that it's controversial, but I want to come on and just talk shit." And I'm like, "Who's Dan? Who is this guy? Did he hurt you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I cry. I still have night terrors." And I was like, "Cool." And he comes on, he starts bad mouthing this comedian, which from what I can tell is nothing but killing it. And you guys want to come in here?
There's only evidence of him killing it. That is correct.
You guys want to walk in here and pretend like,
Dan
he's the bad guy?
Dan Nainan is the first example, I believe, in recorded human history where the loser is writing the history. Because usually it's the winner who writes history, but he's managed to create an alternate history that presents himself as...
Or have you created this alternate history where he's losing? He's killing it, fellas. I don't see the problem.
All right.
Just because he figured out a way to screw you all out of gigs, he's winning. He got you fired. Yeah. He took your gigs. He's stealing your hits.
He's like Charlie winning. Sheen with Floyd Mayweather. No.
He's fucking Kaiser Soze.
Well, at least he's fucking somebody. Hopefully that brightens his mood.
Yeah, he's a fucking devil, though, right? He's an internet myth.
The greatest trick the devil ever blah 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 was writing Dan Nainan's material.
Well, Dan Nainan does have some. I guess he has some alter egos he uses on like comments.
Often women. I envision him kind of like Norman Bates at the end of Psycho. But maybe he's wearing his mom's Asian garb.
So you're saying Indian people smell and need showers?
His mom is not Indian. Remember his dad says, for example. It wasn't for example. It was grace. See? You got to pay attention to the... You're watching a living legend. Pay attention.
Donut. Oh, grace. Dad, it's your mother. Are his parents still alive? Because they have to be really proud.
Even I won't. Even I'm not going to go there.
But they have to be really proud. I'm not going to go there. I just said, are they alive? He's 53. It's a valid question.
No. I know. I just...
Because if not, we should get him. No, I'm kidding. Come on, Dan.
No, I'm not. His parent... his parents can't be responsible for this.
His parents probably have no clue.
You're afraid to ask whether or not they're dead? I'm not to understand what the problem is. I mean, I hope
I just thought
they don't have to see this.
No, I just meant
you wouldn't want to have them exposed to this, right? Wouldn't you hope that their life is over and they didn't have to experience this?
Yeah. There's one of these emails where he writes at the bottom, by the way, every email is like, these are all like emails from the 90s in the sense that there's horrible like clip art logos on the bottom of them that are for Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And then it's always like, click here to see President Barack Obama calling me effing hilarious. And all these like little clips. Here's some shots of him standing with Trump. Here he is at an Olympic stadium. in the UK.
It reminds me of like if you call somebody and they have a greeting that's like 30 seconds long, but it's somebody you speak to all the time. And you're like, dude, is there a way for me to get past this? Can you not put all these goddamn links and pictures at the bottom of these emails?
There's one of these things that's so good that I wanted to... Oh, here it is. This email was not typed, but dictated using Dragon Naturally Speaking 12. Asks me about this incredible speech recognition software. There's no link or anything. It's not like an ad, but it is an ad. What the fuck is that?
If you see him, you can...
And then I picture him sitting around
find out about it.
dictating these tirades into a microphone while people just stare at him.
For example.
Here's one he wrote to Joe, part of a chapter from my new book that'll be out in September. So this is from a couple years ago. Rob sent this to me, I think. Chapter, name, Bob Saget. It was a Wednesday evening, as I normally do when I'm in New York City. I went to my wonderful comedy class. As I mentioned before, the teacher who I've been taking classes from forever is truly responsible for a lot of my success. After the class, this is 2013. He's going to comedy classes?
You can. What do you want? You can always get better, Patrick.
Yeah. After class, I walked with one of my classmates toward the subway, and we happened to come across the Laugh Factory Comedy Club. This is back when I was in New York, when you guys had one.
Okay, so like 2010.
It says... Oh, yeah, so he's telling an old story. I spoke to the gentleman at the door, a guy named Jack, who was extremely nice. That's very, very unusual for people working the door in comedy clubs. It's like, is it? Most door guys I know are pretty cool.
Right.
I must say I introduced myself as a clean comedian who was touring with Robert Schimmel. And I asked what was happening that night. He said it was the grand opening of the club with Bob Saget and Artie Lang performing. I thanked Jack, and we were about to walk away, and on impulse, I asked him if it would be okay if we go in and watch. He said yes, and we went upstairs to check out what was happening. The club was absolutely beautiful, even nicer than the Laugh Factory in Hollywood. Artie Lang was on stage, and to be truthful, he was bombing. Absolutely bombing.
Oh, my God.
He was talking about crapping in his pants and leaving his pants by the side of the road. Of course, that would have been pretty funny in pretty much any comedy club in America, but unfortunately, this audience was comprised of a black tie older crowd. They were not digging it. Again, this is all Dragon Naturally. Picture him in an airport just dictating this into his fucking phone. My new friend from the comedy class decided he had had enough and left. I found Jamie Masada, the owner of the club, and of course, as is my way, I pitched myself, telling him I'm a clean comedian touring with Robert Schimmel. As most club owners would do, he said, send me a tape. Bob Saget was hilarious as well, but once again, his material was extremely dirty, and it was not hitting the crowd well. It was very, very strange to see such a great entertainer like comedian Bob Saget practically bombing. It's like, first of all, anybody's seen bombs. I ducked to use the bathroom, and on the way back, I ran into Jamie Masada again. In a panic, he said to me, "You were clean?" Whereupon I said, "Of course."
Oh, my Christ. I can't. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hold
continue.
on, let's hear the
Jesus
rest.
Christ.
Let's hear the
What
rest.
is this, fucking Forrest Gump?
Yeah. And he said, "You go up and do 5 minutes." This is not a misprint. He actually said minute, not minutes. It's like cool point to pick at. Of course, I practically freaked out. Here I was about to follow Bob Saget, one of the most famous comedians in America. He ain't. I felt cautiously optimistic that I was going to be fine, because this was my type of crowd. After Bob was done, they handed him a piece of paper on the side of the stage and said they were going to bring up another comedian. He introduced me, mispronouncing my last name as everyone does. I went up and did my act, and I couldn't believe the reaction. I was absolutely, positively killing. I felt like I was floating. I also could not believe that I had succeeded where Artie and Bob both crashed and burned. Jamie had told me to do 5 minutes, but I never got the light, and the one that tells you that your time is up. I just kept looking around for it, but they never lighted me. I ended up doing over 15 minutes, and then when they said goodnight, I got a huge roar of applause. When I came off stage, Bob Saget said, "That was amazing," or something like that. And then he went up to Jamie Masada and said, "I want this guy to open for me the whole weekend." Couldn't believe my good fortune. I had happened to pass by a new club with my friend from class. It was a total accident, and I'd been fortunate enough to be let into the club, fortunate enough to meet the owner, fortunate enough to follow Bob Saget and actually do better than he did. On the way out, I thanked Jack profusely and told him what had happened. He told me that it all happened because I was very nice and polite. I'm still friends with Jack to this day. Jack, who works at the club that isn't there anymore. The rest of the weekend was good, but not great.
Is this written by a 6th grader and it's a story called The Time I Was a Comedian?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
The cadence of this is the worst piece of shit book I've ever heard. This is a 6th.
Again, Dan, this is JL.
This is a
love
6th
it.
grader writing a book. Like, and then I went and had a milkshake after with my new best friend Jack.
I'd love to get a copy of this book. Let me know where I can buy one, Dan. I'm super interested. I'm a Dan. I got to be honest. I'm a Dan fan, and I'm into him. Guy's funny. Funny, man.
Can you imagine you go to see
Funny
a
than
comedy
Saget.
show? You obviously are paying to see the headliner, and you're like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I hate him. Meanwhile, didn't you know who you were going to see? Thank God. Some guy off the street who no one ever heard of is able to do 15 minutes at the end, and now the show's worthwhile. That's the idea. Oh, also that the bouncers are now responsible for guest sets. That's the other part.
You sound like a hater, Joe.
God, I hate this motherfucker. You're correct.
GiveDanAChance.com. It's my new fundraiser for Dan. Give Dan a chance. What we're trying to do is erase all the hateful things on the internet about Dan.
All we are saying
is give Dan a chance. I love
Have
him.
you heard the impersonations that Dan has on his website?
Oh, I do have a video here of Dan being put on the spot, you guys. This is great. Reporter asks him to do Barack Obama. He's like, "You're really putting me on the spot.
I'm not even prepared."
Yeah.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Dan, you made a career out of doing impersonations.
Again, just audio on one channel. Not my fault. Just how Dan rolls. It's like he has the most fucked up, bugged up version of Windows Movie Maker you've ever seen. Like, what is he doing?
First Bill Clinton, then George W. Bush. Now you're stuck with Barack Obama. What do you do?
It's really tough.
I love that too. It's like, God, you made your name out there doing white guys. Now that there's a colored man, how are you going to even cope? It's like, shouldn't that be easier? I love it. Like, you do Clinton and Bush, but how are you going to transform? How on stage do you make Dan melt away and get out of the way for, okay?
Because he doesn't quite have it's not as distinctive. The farther out someone is, the more whacked out their voice or whatever, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. Do something for me.
Oh, God, you're putting me on the spot. But the one thing I noticed about...
I didn't think we were going to do this on this interview with lighting and cameras. And like, what the fuck? Here we goes, guys.
Talk about, all right. I will not look in the camera. I'll look over here to the right, and I'll look over to the left. But I will never look.
By the way, why are you out of breath and doing it so fast? I'll look over here to the left. I'll look over here to the right.
And I happen to have a collection of spit in my jaw that caused me to sound like I have.
I just ate several Jell-O pudding cups.
They're still in my mouth. I haven't swallowed the fluid yet, so I'm sounding like this. They sound like that.
Both myself and Macy Gray have the same affliction.
Into the camera. Whereas John McCain's like, I only look in the camera. And
what's that, Smeagol? Is that Gollum from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, what is he doing?
But I thought that John McCain would do anything to get elected. Like if it was like, I promise that if I get elected, I will commit suicide. I mean, he would do anything.
Who helped Frankenstein.
By the way, always funny to joke about suicide.
No, I'm looking to the left. No, I'm looking to the right. And now I'm John McCain. Yes.
Because McCain talks like this.
And the other thing I don't understand about McCain is he's from Arizona. It's like, why is he so pale? I mean, he should be called Palin.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Hashtag Danning up the internet.
And of course, Bill Clinton is one of your favorites. How would you react to
Bill Clinton?
Here's what you do. You do.
Obama victory.
This is what people come for. This is what they pay the big bucks.
Dan, play the hits.
Well, now, quite frankly, of course, I wanted Hillary to win, but I'm really a little bit upset because I was hoping I'd be able to do Bill Clinton's voice for 8 more years. But I can't.
You can't do it once he's out of office.
Or now. You can't do the voice. You can't do the voice now.
It's more relevant than ever.
In the 90s, you couldn't do it. 10 years later, you never could do it.
It's relevant again. Bring it back.
I'll just thought Everything just sounds like Dan Nainan just
material.
added like a little thing to it. Like, look, I'm Bill Clinton because I've added a
said
little
I'm Bill
scratch
Clinton,
to
yeah.
my, I'm Bill Clinton, everybody.
Yeah, because that's what Bill says. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Clinton. He always introduces himself.
I'm Rick James. You know how Rick James said I'm Rick James? Well, I'm Bill Clinton.
I forgot what I was going to.
Now you'll probably have to do
forgot what I was gonna
Barack
say.
Obama for 4 more years. Anything special you have planned for Obama?
Well, it's just, trying to get the impression down. It's really tough, Biden
I think you nailed it, Dan. Don't be so hard on yourself.
and Obama are again, very, very straight. There's no real charactery. There's nothing about them that's really charactery, and although the two of them together, or
Two of them together.
Obama, he's got the big ears, right?
Whoa,
and McCain was short and
you
stocky.
hear that,
so-
Barack? Let's send that to Barack,
Shots
you guys.
fired.
Send that to Barack,
The two of
everybody.
them reminded of Shrek, combined. But see, this is weird. There's no
Did you
audience.
call our leader an ogre?
I do like how he laughed and said it's weird because there's nobody here to laugh at it.
we're
People
getting-
would. Don't worry, people wouldn't have laughed at it if they were there.
We got another phone call. Hello. 443 number. Okay. Let's go fuck ourselves. Oh, and then we lost Joe.
No, I'm on here.
Oh, you're there. All right. Anyway, well, there's too much to dig up on the dude. He's got pictures of himself in first class on airplanes where he's like thumbs upping, but it's clearly like while people are deplaning or while it's boarding, and it's like anybody could just sit down and take a photo. Like all the pillows are out. Like it's no one sat yet. Anybody can just.
I don't even.
You board a
discount the
747.
idea-
You can just sit down as you're boarding and go take a photo of me real quick, right?
Or
Like,
he could be in first class. Who gives a shit? I
Right.
don't care how he flies to Dubai. I don't care.
that's the thing.
He probably
But
sent JL and I, no exaggeration. I'm not exaggerating. 100 pictures of steak. I'm not kidding.
Steak.
That's not some number that I'm trying. It's probably 100.
all from that Morton's.
What I like about the steak pictures is like he's half Indian, and it's like he's sticking his middle finger up to half his culture. He's like, all I do is eat the sacred cow.
I love how he thinks you're fat and that punishing you is sending you steaks. Send me steaks, Dan Nainan. I'll be on your Omaha meats list or whatever you want to just. Yeah, send me photos of steaks. I'll go, great looking steak, man. Like, what do
Well,
you.
that's the thing. I'm also in my 40s. I've had a fucking steak. I don't. Where do you think I come from? That I'm just eating ramen and in my 40s. I've had a steak.
First of all, ramen is delicious.
Of course it is, but
But
I've had steak.
Joe, are they sumptuous?
I'm getting a call
steaks?
from New York. Hold on one second. Let's see what this is. Hello?
Hey, you guys are talking about pictures. This guy's Twitter is just amazing.
Hold on. There's a call from New York coming in. Give me 1 second.
Oh, God.
Hello, 917 number.
Hello.
Who's this?
Yeah, this was one of the questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Boy.
Yeah, question is, what do you have in store for sketches this summer? And what people would be imitating, and just generally, what kind of sketches are you going to do this summer?
Oh, JL?
You asking
Yeah.
me? Oh
Yeah.
shit.
You got a fan?
What? Well, I'm doing a Corolla sketch coming up, and then I'm doing one called 12 Years a Bringer, which is going to be an Academy Award winner, and just a couple others. I've got some ideas, but I like to keep them to myself. But thank you for paying attention, watching.
Yeah, before you go, we'll definitely plug all your YouTube and everything.
Thank you.
So what is this guy having on his Twitter? Go ahead. Sorry, the other caller.
Oh, I just love seeing all his pictures of his Tesla and how he gets free charging station access.
Any 7-Eleven has an open outlet.
Yeah.
for example.
For example. Like there's not many parking lots you can pull up in and not find an outlet in.
If there was a People magazine dedicated to comedy, he would be on the 10 most fascinating people in comedy list. Like, I can't deny
Hit
that.
for one
comedy,
Time magazine
just-
to the end of the year. Yeah.
Can you imagine the lease he's paying to get that Tesla?
He probably bought it. The dude makes money. Like
yeah,
it's
that's the
very
other thing.
easy
We
to
don't
book.
discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, we believe you, Dan. We believe that you've duped these people into getting these gigs, and nobody is questioning that.
Hold
I'm
on.
sure that happens.
I don't even think like the big gigs, like the corporate gigs he gets flown overseas and makes 25 grand on. I don't think he's duping anyone. How many fucking Indian comics can you bring in? Like, I don't think he's duping anyone. I think they see him and see his ethnic jokes and go, fine, safe, Indian, check, check, check. Yeah, get him over here. We have a budget.
Well,
we
you're
have to
probably
spend
right.
it.
They can see his material. You're probably right. They probably see it, and they're like,
Again, yeah, no one's getting fired. No one's going to get fired for him.
No, you're probably right about that.
He's found a niche, but to act like you're all in it and you should, like, to act that you're jealous of being in it or that he's getting you by, like, taking gigs that you could have got, it's like, no.
All I am seeing right now is David Hasselhoff singing "Freedom" on top of the Berlin Wall.
Well, again, a lot of people look at that and see a hit. So, who's to say? Don't hassle the Hoff.
No.
And by the way, in Europe, he's a different dude. Like, he's just a fucking, like, he got so big over there.
Yeah.
I mean, he got big here, but then he sat on the floor drunk and ate a burger. And we all just went like, what are we watching?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think we've described the guy pretty well over the past 2 hours. I don't know what else there is to say. There's plenty more out there.
Icon, legend, humanitarian.
But there's a lot of really good blog. Like if you go out and look at blogs that people have made, people have like Tumblrs and blogs of stories. Just search Dan Nainan.
Yeah.
He had a different name that he was going by too, Bob something.
Bob Hellener was the one that he was and I that's the other thing, if I can, and I'm sure Joe will agree with this. He goes into chat rooms. He'll write on iTunes reviews, and when there was an article about me on Salon or Slate, I keep forgetting. I think it was Slate. And he comments like under fake IDs. Often they're female IDs. I don't know why, but you can tell he doesn't vary his language or his structure at all. And I'm just like, why don't you? It's weird because it's like he's the guy hiding in the bush. You know in Anchorman when Veronica knows Ron Burgundy is prank calling her, like because she sees him doing it, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, it's your doctor. You should go. Right. That's what he's doing. He's like, it's like we all know it's just put your name on it. I don't understand why the
gig is up and it's obvious that the gig is up, but he's still playing it.
I'd actually respect. I mean, I wouldn't respect, but there'd be closer to respect if it was just like, "Hi, I'm Dan, and I hate this comedian. I think he's terrible, and I don't think you should listen to his stuff." But it's like, hey, my name's Shelley, and this guy is a real hack.
I liked him until I saw some tweet that makes no sense for me to be mad at. By the way, I've posted 0 times before and just signed up today to say this.
Right.
Because people do that. Pretty amazing. All right, well, we'll wrap up here. I think we've beat it into the ground. Done about 2 hours here.
Solid.
And
the funny thing is there's probably 2 hours more worth of stories to tell.
I'm thinking once people get a load of this guy, and again, it's even hard to know where to start. There's so many facets and moving parts of it. Again, Google is your friend. But I'd love to get Dan on and explain it, because this might be just a big misunderstanding.
Witch hunt.
Right, this could turn out to be just all big one. Oh, who done it?
Right.
You know? So I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. The dude's successful. He has a Tesla. I see no reason to lie. He's first class. He's got the stakes to back it up. You know, what are we picking on?
I'm just, to be honest, pretty stoked.
Do you have the stakes to back it up?
I got chicken in my fridge. I got some antibiotic-free chicken that I'm going to grill up.
It's no steak, my friend.
Well, I fly coach, so I'm just getting like Terra Blue chips on JetBlue.
You'll be lucky to fly anywhere in your life for your tiny career. $200.
Well, if I may.
He did say that to one of you guys in your emails. You'd be lucky to ever fly as much as I fly in them. It's like, what do you think? I work all over the fucking place. Like, what do you think I'm just training to New Haven every weekend to do a set?
I wish I was training to New Haven.
Well, he's right. I only speak English. I can only go. There's only so many countries in the world I could even go to, even if I wanted to.
New caller, hello.
Hey, it's Rob Maher.
Rob Maher. Wow.
Got a Hail Mary coming in here in the last fucking minute of the game.
The softer
side
side of the couple that is Rob and Joe.
The tennis is the answer to which the ball in your court. I believe tennis is the court.
Yeah, but thank you for picking my side.
That's all I got. Take care.
But also, it's still on the same court, right?
Well, I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just saying I think that tennis, because it's your turn to act. When you have the ball, you serve.
So you like to just be diplomatic about this whole thing and not kind of enter the fray.
Oh no! I was watching the hockey game, and with Joe talking, 80% of the time.
Maybe you'd work more if you watched less hockey, Rob.
That's true.
And then you know what? I bet he's out working tonight. I bet Dan has a gig, and yet you're just sitting there with your ESPN and your hashtags.
You're right. At least I'm not watching Netflix for that Breaking Bad show.
Like your leader.
Yeah. Hey, good job with the Mayweather references tonight.
Yeah.
Excellent work.
It's almost like he's being sponsored by Floyd.
Right.
Money Nainan? You mean Money Nainan?
Yeah, and also like he has a 2% stake in all Hasselhoff DVD and CD sales. Not digital downloads though, guys. Please buy the physical media.
I bet the under on Hasselhoff mentioned tonight at 3.5. I got my ass kicked.
Hey, it's not over yet.
Oh no. It's not over. Yeah. No, Dan, I just want to say, he fails to realize that he should be proud that he's made any money with that act. So that's his. Rather than take pride in that, he sort of acts like he's really funny. No,
but the problem isn't his act. It's like, again, just because his act isn't our cup of tea, it's like, again, there's rooms full of people dying. So
I mean, yeah, but you should write new jokes. I mean, Matt, you should do that.
But why are you mad? But why are you mad about it, police cop?
I'm mad that he won't just say, "Yeah, my act sucks and it's amazing."
Again, Rob, I'm just going to come out and say it. Dan seems like a good guy. You guys are haters and losers. Ever since the Up Next competition, you've been in a funk, and your career
you have no idea
has just been going down. So I don't like that you guys are all lumping onto him. I think he's great. We're going to get him in. He's going to be the new co-host here. And together, we're going to take your podcast down. It's a war.
Now, Rob actually took the Morton steak. Dan actually extended a gig to Rob. This was in the last, 3-4 months, Rob? How long ago was your gig?
No, I did a gig with Dan Nainan a year ago. He emails me, I want to say, on a Thursday. His last-minute gig in Pennsylvania, some fire hall. He says, I don't want a headline. It's not my type of room, and I don't give any money because I do these shows for free because I love people in the service industry. And do you want to do this gig for $600? I'm like, this is bullshit. So I don't believe it. I get the name of he gets me a phone number.
And by the way, for someone who loves people in the service industry, all his emails mention how everyone else is unimportant and has quote unquote menial jobs, and you just you make shit money, and it's like, these are the people who cook your steaks. What are you? You're not down at the Sizzler for free.
Of course not. Yeah, he's not a man of the people. So I do some research, and I realize that this is a real thing because they have a Facebook page. I talked to this guy that runs this thing. It's actually happening. So I'm like, this is either a really elaborate way to fuck me over, and I'll give you credit for that, if it is, or hey, I'm not working tomorrow. I can make $600, and I get to meet Dan Nainan.
But you have to rely on him to pay you.
Well, no, the guy himself, the manager, I don't know what his role was. He paid me cash.
And this was offered to you after Nainan knew who you were from the show, from your show.
Oh yeah, this was after all of this.
Wow.
And then I see Dan, and he was totally he's like, look, I get behind the keyboard, I get really angry, and I'm like, yeah, I know, Dan, you threatened me 1,000,000 times. He goes, I'm just not really like that. I'm like, all right, well, you might want to get some help or something, dude. You got some anger issues. He goes, I know, and he was totally passive and totally different than his email internet persona. And of course he goes up there. He's telling jokes about Indian people. They're all white people. They don't know any Indian people. But he's doing the same set, the same act. He's not changing it. He's not relating it to anybody. It's the same wacky observations. And of course, he bombs, and then I do well, and then I never see him again.
That's insanity. My roommates got home. I love Indian guy. We hate those right now.
Yeah,
they're the worst.
They're the worst.
Have you just real quick? Have you ever heard of this Dan Nainan comedian, Indian comedian? No. All right. And believe me, my roommate Shubi is really plugged into Indian culture.
Yeah,
he's in there. What were you asking? Sorry.
I thought he got into a fight with some Indian comic in L.A., but I got into a fight. I think this guy beat him up over something that he did.
Wait, isn't Ayana Dukia half Indian or something?
Yeah, she should know that.
Maybe I have a problem with Indian comics. I keep, getting in tangles. Is Cliff Cash part Indian? Is Cliff Cash got some secret 16th Indian?
He does. He's 25% Indian.
Yeah. He's 15 16th redneck white.
Right.
And then one sliver.
Did you tell the story about how he won a comedy competition? And no, he lost a comedy competition, Dan, to this girl, and then every year on the anniversary, he would email anonymously this girl and call her fat and unfunny. I mean, who does that?
Pretty good jokes, though. You got to give it to Dan.
It's I know what you did last summer, but
yeah,
starring a hack.
I can never live down winning this contest. Go fuck off. Yeah, he's crazy.
It was like the first of 9 rounds. It didn't mean anything. It wasn't like she won any money or anything. Or,
he's a nut bar.
Her name is Natasha Leggero. That's who that is.
Oh wow, big stars.
No, I made that part up.
Yeah, because she couldn't win a con. Okay, guys, we have to wrap it up. It's been too mean. Joe and Rob, plug your show, plug your Twitters, whatever you guys want to.
Look at Rob just showing up like a closer.
Yeah.
Now, I can say, I'll put on my bio, I headline Nobody Likes Onions. It's robandjoeshow.com, at Rob and Joe Show. Stitcher, iTunes, you know how to work the internet. New show every week.
Yeah. And anything from you?
You follow me on Twitter at comedian Dan. No.
Wow.
Go to JL.
Stop plugging Dan's stuff.
JLComedy.com. JLComedy.com. The Twitter handle's at JLCAUVIN, but everything can be found at JLComedy.com. My podcast is new every Tuesday. Movie reviews, sketch videos, stand-up clips, my relatively barren calendar right now, etc.
Don't give him any more ammo. Stop
Dan
giving him
every day.
Yeah, stop giving Dan all the ammo to ruin the show.
And by the way, at the end of the summer, I plan on releasing a 12-month calendar of me shirtless when I'm back in shape. And,
wow.
And it's all for Dan.
Me too, unless I get a certain amount, then I'll keep it secret, guys. Join the Overdose if you haven't joined the Overdose for the Nobody Likes Onions show. It's after shows, bonus content in our entire archive going back 10 years, thousands and thousands of hours of audio. Check it out. $10 a month is all it costs. Keep this show going. NobodyLikesOnions.com/overdose. Follow us on Twitter, NLO. Join our Facebook group, NobodyLikesOnions.com/Facebook. Follow us on YouTube for videos like this show, where you can see the photos and videos of Dan in all his glory. Dan, we'd love to have you on the show. Email my people, NobodyLikesOnions.com. We want to get you booked. We want to sit you down. We think you're a real talent and a gem and a funny man, and we want to get you in. I want to be a Dan fan, so let's hook it up. Dan for life, Dan forever, Dan, He's the man, he's the best. We love him. Keep it going for Dan.